Hi. You gonna welcome everybody? It's Wednesday. It's Pet Wellness Wednesday. Hi, everybody. Today's hosted by your Pet Matrix family, right? Ms. Bay. Yes, you too. And Will and Tanisha and also Paka. Last week was so much fun. We got to spend some time with you. It's been a while, and share with you our newest venture, which is so exciting. So we're going to talk about more of that today. We also shared some new ideas to help you make simple changes, so toward being the best pet guardian and advocate you can be. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the science of Pet Matrix, what makes it different. We're going to talk about our very first product, and what it's designed for and all the amazing compounds that are inside. And then Bay and I, you want to make some barkies? Yeah, you want to make some barkies? We're going to make some barkies. But before we get started, I just want to talk a quick minute about our focus group. Oh my gosh, we had a tremendous outpouring of interest. Thank you so much for everybody who's interested. And we realized that there's still some people out there that haven't heard this message, potentially have a home that this would be a good fit for. And we're really trying. We have tons of dogs, so many dogs, but we want to get it into as many homes as possible too. So if you're just hearing this for the first time and you'd love to be part of our focus group, it's going to launch on February 14th with our entire product line. Then go ahead and go to our website. It's www.mypetmatrix.com and go click on focus group and you can fill out that form. For those of you that did already, we're going to be wrapping things up on about Friday, Saturday. You'll get an email if your house has been chosen. So with all the directions, everything you need to know. As far as production goes, we are pretty much on schedule, which is super exciting. We were a little back ordered on, as many things are. Our jars, we have those on order here. We're filling on the weekend. We've got labels and packaging and all kinds of exciting stuff on the way. So we will be contacting everyone via email, like I said, and then when we're on our Wellness Wednesday and kind of going on this journey with everybody when they start. So be sure to get us that stuff. Otherwise, with that said, Bay, are you ready to bring on your daddy? We're going to bring on our chief citizen scientist, who also is Bay's daddy, Mr. Wells. So take it away, babe.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know about taking away. I'm going to just keep you on here for a little bit because, guys, this is really what it's all about, right? We all love our pets. We all love our dogs, our companions, our fur babies. Like, they're really our family, right? And they provide so much for us, and they really require so little back. But we have this obligation to take care of them. And that's really where we come in. And if you've followed our journey over the last 3 years, or if you're just joining on now, you'll understand one thing about us, and that is we are all about delivering high quality compounds, nutrition, whether our body's naturally producing it or it's found out in nature. We're grabbing those compounds that were typically difficult to deliver to our canines, and including us. And we make them what's known as bioavailable. Okay. Bioavailability is the rate at which something can be absorbed. And in humans, obviously, it's very important, because if something is very low in bioavailability, let's say like 5%, okay, and we're ingesting it, that means we're only getting 5% of our money's worth, and our body's having to get rid of the rest. And that's not so, it's a big deal with us, right, as far as getting rid of the rest, but our liver and our bodies are made up to kind of, combat this and try to live a long life and everything else. But when it comes to our canines, right, it comes to our dogs, it's much different. Their life is different. Their liver, in size to their body, is so small. It's almost comical. Okay, with the amount of work that it needs to do. All right. And we all know, we've heard the saying that, dog years are basically 7 to 1 for us. Right. And there's a reason for that. And the two main reasons are their metabolism, their metabolic rate is through the roof. They burn energy like nobody's business. Okay. Their cells are constantly looking for energy to suck in and use. And then secondly, and where the science really comes in with this, is in the breakdown, okay, of these compounds. You heard like 5%, right? So let's take something that we actually have within our compounds. I'll talk about it a little bit later. We'll talk about curcumin. Okay, something that all you pet lovers, you've seen it on the marketplace. It's crazy. Everyone's talking about curcumin. Everyone's talking about take turmeric, right? Well, there's an inherent problem with curcumin. Okay, it is bioavailable at about 5%. Okay, and so as humans, we consume it. We, absorb 5% of it. We get rid of the rest. Okay, whatever. In our dogs, when they have to break down that other 95%, okay, their liver can only, digest, produce enough enzymes to break down these compounds, at a very small rate. So if we tax the liver by introducing all these supplements, right, all these lipids, these non-polar charged compounds, right, then they have to break it down. Well, what if they didn't have to? What if there were supplements on the market that bypassed the entire digestive process, that delivered it directly to the cells? So not only, number one, are they getting everything they need, but number two, more importantly, their liver, their body, isn't having to break down these compounds in order to get the benefit from them. So we got a little science experiment here. And again, a lot of you have seen this, but I'm also presuming that a lot of you haven't. And so our bodies and our dogs' bodies, mammals, made up 70+% water. That's just how it works. The rest works out, you got muscles, you got bones, you got tendons, you got ligaments, you got all these kinds of things, right? But it's mostly water. And cells themselves are made up internally of like almost over 90% water. And so what happens is that lipids, oils, which is called easy, right? Oil and water don't mix, Lipids, right, enter the bloodstream, right? And they start basically repelling. They have to go through the digestive process. So Summer's going to go ahead and show you here, all right, that the drops there that are going in, are a CBD, compound, all right? And these are lipids. And you'll notice, I'm just going to put Summer up here for a second, put it up real close. Okay, you'll notice that what's happening is the lipids, the oils, the fats are separating from the water. Well, there's a chemical reaction going on, people. That's how this works. All right. Water, H2O, is polar charged. And lipids are non-polar charged. So they actually kind of repel each other, and that's why they separate. So polar attracts polar, non-polar attracts polar, and they bind to each other. So our nutritional product line uses this amazing technology so that our dogs can get all of the amazing benefits of some of the compounds that we're going to go ahead and talk today in the first product. And I'm so excited about this first product, you guys. It's crazy. And so thank you so much, Summer. I appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and bring her off there because she's got some stuff to do. And just, by the way, the other beaker there, is the actual formulation for our water-soluble products. So now what's happened is we've turned that lipid, the non-polar charged, into a polar charged, compound, meaning that it's oil-free. I'm going to say it again. Yeah. It's an oil-free supplement product. All right. I'm going to thank Summer. An oil-free supplement product for pet nutrition, something nobody has. There's not another pet nutrition company that has this, and there's lots of reasons why they don't. A lot of it has to do with the amount of research that really goes into dog supplements, dog food. It's riddled with just white labeled products that they're ordering from some type of lab that has some type of credentialing and everything, but they're not combating the problem. And as we looked at all of the nutritional products out there, and the compounds, solid. When you start talking about these compounds, you look at it and you go, oh yeah, these are amazing. They're researched for decades, highly beneficial to our dogs. But the problem is that it's not deliverable. And that's the problem that we solve. we solved the problem of delivering high quality lipids that could have adverse effects on your dog's liver, which can lead to fatty liver disease. It can lead to toxins within their system. And remember, everything is amplified. Okay. I want you to think of your pet as 7 to 10 times. Okay. Follow me with this. Every time you feed your pet, every time you reprimand your pet, okay, maybe even yell at your pet, it's magnified by 7 to 10 times because their lifespan is that much shorter. So what happens is their bodies have to work, their minds, their eyes, their ears, their smell, their taste, their internal organs, everything gets processed, okay, through all their different neural pathways and affects them 7 times more than it affects us. That's what that says, and that's what that means. Okay, so we have to, and what we're looking to do is extend the life of our amazing pets. And so I want to introduce to you, okay, our first product that's going to be going out to the focus group. We got 3 products. You guys heard me talk about them last week. We're going to talk about one this week, and we're going to talk about the first compound, okay, within the product. So this pet product line is for pain management, okay? Pain within dogs, again, is very severe, and most of that pain is caused from oxidative stress, okay? What is oxidative stress? Remember, they are just this bundle of energy that's getting burned constantly. Their cells, what they need, okay, is they start burning oxygen. If the cells don't have the oxygen to burn, okay, they don't have the energy, which then starts causing cell degradation. Follow me here. So every cell within your dog, okay, has what's known as GSH, glutathione, okay? And this is kind of an energy source, right? And what it's known as is the master antioxidant. We've all heard of antioxidants, how important they are. Well, let's understand why they're so important, okay? We have, okay, our dogs have running through, okay, their bodies, free radicals. Free radicals, what they're doing is they're robbing, okay, electrons from other, okay, from healthy cells. When you rob an electron from a healthy cell, that cell is compromised. That cell will start going through cellular degradation. When a cell gets bad and dies, it's unhealthy. It's not good. The longer we have healthy cells and the longer we have healthy cell regeneration, okay, the longer we will live and the healthier we will live. The same goes with our animals, okay, specifically with our dogs. So what happens is that as dogs get older for all different reasons, okay, as they get older, as disease sets in, as arthritis sets in, as pain, as neurological trauma. How many of you we have rescues around here, okay? And a lot of them come with PTSD, come with trauma. Okay, our Bay girl, she came from the streets of Chula Vista. Every time there's an abrupt noise or a change in the wind, I mean, her knee-jerk reaction, it's because she has her own mental issues, okay? And so all of these start to cause, right, free radicals to go crazy. Now imagine this. Imagine, remember, their metabolism is 7 to 10 times faster than ours. All right. Imagine their metabolism running and looking for energy and not finding energy. Okay. Not having that energy available to them. Right. That is what's called oxidative stress. So what we do is through our product, through the first compound, glutathione, which is very low in bioavailability, just so you guys are aware. The reasons why they call it the master antioxidant is number 1, it's found in all the cells. But number 2, guess what? This really, really cool thing it does. It actually will go around and lend electrons to other antioxidants floating around. Okay. So if you give your dog other antioxidants, the glutathione is going to benefit and it's going to have a synergistic effect. And now what you're going to have is you're going to have a plethora okay, of oxygen for their cells to be burning. Now you're going to have happy, healthy cells, which lead to happy, healthy dogs, which lead to us being happy and healthy and taken care of. And speaking of antioxidants, I'm going to bring Summer back on over into Summer and Bay's kitchen, because I think they're baking up some Barkies with some amazing antioxidants in it. So Summer, I'm going to go ahead and bring you back in.
All right. Thanks, babe. Babe, you want to make some Barkies? What do you think? So speaking of antioxidants, just like Dad said, we're going to play with some blueberries today, and we're going to make some blueberry Barkies. We call them Barkies, kind of like a cookie, kind of like a biscuit for the dog, right? So I whipped it up ahead of time, but I'm just going to talk to you about some ingredients and kind of show you how we put everything together. So it's super easy, 5 ingredients. You probably have most of these things at home, but if you do, I want to make sure you check what the labels say before you just go ahead and throw it in, because we really want to make sure that we're checking for single ingredients when we can, organic, non-GMO. So let's start with the ingredients. Super easy. A banana. I always have one of those laying around, almost done. Throw that in the bowl. Chop up half a cup of chopped blueberries. Nice, fresh. We just got a bunch, organic. A farmer's market is a great place to find things that are seasonal and support your local farmers. And then go in your cupboard. You probably got some applesauce. Ours happens to be organic. We're going to flip around and see the ingredients. Organic apples. That's it. It's important with things like applesauce and peanut butters and things that say something on the label, but the ingredients tell you that there's lots of other stuff in it that's different. One thing you really want to look out for is something called xylitol. So this is a natural sweetener that's really awesome for us because it doesn't do crazy things to your glycemic index. So I use this to bake a lot, but it's really toxic for dogs. So this is why you want to watch for sweeteners and any kinds of peanut butters and apple sauces and stuff like that. The next ingredient is some almond flour. Just about a half a cup of almond flour, super easy. This Bob's Red Mill is a great brand. I use their products for a lot of baking and stuff too. So have these on hand. And then a half a cup of oat flour. So if you don't have oat flour hanging around, you probably have yourself some organic or old-fashioned rolled oats. You can use them just as they are. I throw some in the food processor and grind them up, makes them a little bit more, the texture more like flour. And I will put this recipe all together and drop it onto our Pet Matrix Facebook page so you can make them for yourself at home. I know we had a lot of people make our treats from last week, so that was super fun. So you mix it all up. Literally, it will mix with a spoon like this. I actually kind of like preparing it ahead of time and then letting it sit in the fridge for a few hours. It just kind of all comes together and is much easier to scoop and more pliable. So we're gonna, hey, are you trying to like steal bananas over here already? You're like, give me all the blueberries. So I preheated the oven to 350. I use some parchment paper, and that's another actually cool thing. I went to grab the parchment paper out of the drawer here, and I noticed that I had an older one that most of you might know of, and then I had this newer one. So they're both made by the same company, but interestingly enough, this one is unbleached and compostable. So from an environmental standpoint, this one's actually a way better choice, and also without having that bleach, you're not worried about that getting into the environment or on the dog either, right? So take a quick scoop. I have one of these baking scoops. It's about a tablespoon. Hey, you're trying to steal, but she's trying to steal bananas off the counter over here. Here's more blueberries here. So one quick scoop. It's about a tablespoon. Drop it right on there. We got to cook those first. I grab another little blueberry, just smash it on top. We'll do a few of those and then put them in the oven for about 13 minutes or so till they're nice and dry, and then take them out. And then probably by the time Tanisha and Will are done explaining about these awesome science and the other ingredients, we'll have Barkies coming out of the oven. So we'll try them when we get done, right? All right, send it back to you guys and we'll bake some Barkies in the oven.
Amazing, thank you. You know, the antioxidants in the blueberries right there for, for the dog. Summer and I were talking about this last night as we were, going through the treat, and as she fed me one of the treats. I didn't know it was a dog treat. I'm like, how is this a dog treat? It's just normal food. dogs will eat the foods that are good for them. We got to make sure that when we're feeding them treats, we're feeding them the treat for them. That's what they're enjoying. That's what they're deserving. It doesn't, you have a piece of chocolate, it tastes good to you. They don't want that as a treat. You have that taco from wherever you got it. Don't give that to them as a treat. Okay. Give them something that's going to be good and healthy for them. They'll thank you for it later. And so that just for like right in the moment here, as giving Bay those antioxidants, the glutathione, okay, that she receives, it will help synergistically with the antioxidants within the blueberry, which is amazing. So, and we'll get back to the glutathione a little bit when I come on to explain another one of the compounds, because the other compound that I'm going to talk to you guys about, we talk about a lot. It works synergistically with the glutathione to work with your telomeres within your DNA, which is all about the life expectancy and lifespan of both you as a human as well as your pets. But before we kind of get into that, I'm going to bring on our Director of Education, Tanisha, who happens to also be my amazing sister. Hey, Nish.
Hello. And I love that we're talking about blueberries because as you can see, Paka over here, he is currently eating blueberries, which are obviously, as we just talked about, very rich in antioxidants. And he's also eating Okinawan purple sweet potato, which is also very antioxidant rich as well. So let's talk about some key antioxidants that are also in our first product that we are sharing with you guys. So we have an antioxidant named quercetin. You might have heard us talk about it before, maybe in the past, but we're talking about it here right now with animals, which is really, really exciting. Here's why. If you can, let me know in the comments if you have ever had an animal, or maybe you've known or heard of an animal that has ever had allergy challenges, whether it's puffy eyes, an itchy belly, maybe scaly skin, some sign that they're having an allergic reaction, maybe like you've had as a human, but in an animal. So we have a super amazing, incredible flavonoid rich. It's actually one of the richest antioxidants in its flavonoid profile. And what that means is it has the ability to act as a super ninja, going like this to any of the free radicals, which are going to be things that create not good inflammation in the body. So quercetin has the ability to tackle that, to basically calm that inflammation down in the act of an allergic reaction. What's super amazing about quercetin as well is that it supports the skin. It not just supports that, but it also acts with the pollens. So think about the seasonal changes. Does your dog ever have a reaction to the change in weather? Well, you also have to think about what is the grass being exposed to in the metropolitan cities? How is your dog's paws? Are they getting inflamed? Are they getting red? That is a very serious issue that has massively increased over the past, in a general thought process, 6 years in my experience of living in LA, seeing a lot more dogs having greater issues within their skin and in their paws because of what's being used in the city to keep everything clean, which is obviously very chemical heavy. So you want to think of quercetin as something that brings down inflammation in a very rich way. But what makes it so very unique with the way that we are delivering it into your puppy's body is the technology. Quercetin in itself has a very, very low bioavailability. So we have the ability to deliver that into the body maximally and efficiently. So now let's talk about another super special antioxidant. Let me know in the comments if you are familiar with this very, very cool thing called green tea. If you've ever drank green tea, please put your hand up in the comments. This is what's really exciting. Green tea has a, yes.
Sorry, before we get into that, I want to jump in on that quercetin thing because
go for it.
When we were living in Irvine, I would take Bay out. It's my job at night to take the dog out. Okay. And so take the dog out and, it's we were living there for about 5 years or 4 to 5 years. And it was like the last year and a half, every time I would take her out and she would come in, her paws red and inflamed and everything. We had to contact the HOA, and they changed, okay, the pesticide that they were using to treat the grass out there. You know, it's these simple little things that we might not be really thinking about. Okay, why is my dog's paw so red? Why is their snout so inflamed and everything? Okay, and it's because of these chemical reactions that they're exposed to. Okay, a lot of times without our even knowledge of it happening. And so we got to dig deeper, right? And it's that quercetin that really attacks the histamine within their bodies internally. So it works as a natural antihistamine, which is unbelievable. Again, you know, the things that, as we're talking about this product, everyone, okay, we're talking about a product that's dealing with pain and irritation, okay, and management of that. So if you think about your dog and, you know, the allergies and the skin and the scratching in their nose and their eyes and everything else, okay, the quercetin is really going to work with that. And as well as, like she said, it's an antioxidant, right? We are really, really focused on this because oxidative stress within our dogs is a massive issue. It leads to heart disease. It leads to diabetes. It leads to cancer, okay? Because the body has no energy to combat anything at that point. It's in oxidative stress. It's in basically oxygen depletion because it's being stolen from the free radicals, which now you're having cellular degradation, cellular damage. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So I just wanted to jump in on that. And
because, I'm glad you did, because you guys have a personal story with that. And I love how Cindy is even saying that, yes, they can get it from the foods too. Absolutely. You know, the food industry in the pet space is, I will just leave that sigh with you and you can interpret that.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's not great at all. Not at all. So with that, speaking of antioxidants here, let's talk about green tea. Okay, there is an active compound that makes green tea so incredibly amazing. And that compound is called EGCG. It does not come from the green tea leaf. It actually comes from the stem. And this stem holds this compound. And what it has the ability to do is it acts in a way like quercetin. It acts like that super ninja, that line of defense that can tackle any free radical that comes its way. But it also does things a little bit differently and tackles things a little bit differently. And it's able to chime in on different body systems as well, like cognition, the brain. So like Will was talking about earlier, a lot of dogs have traumatic reactions. If you see a dog walking on the street, a lot of them have adverse reactions to sounds, to people, to other dogs. Well, that's also tied into their nervous system. Okay. And the brain is controlled by the nervous system. So EGCG has a way to decrease inflammation within the cognition aspect of a dog. What does that mean? If we decrease inflammation in the brain, what we're doing is we're taking pressure off the nervous system. We're allowing more room in the nervous system, which results in less reaction. Now, am I saying that when your dog starts taking EGCG, immediately it's going to stop being reactive? No, this is one of those things that builds in the body, and it's a gradual decrease in what they've been experiencing so that they can be one step closer to being normal. What is also so amazing about EGCG is that it helps to support the metabolic system. What are things that are involved in the metabolic system? Blood sugar. Well, what does blood sugar impact? Cognition, behavior, hunger, and proper hormone communications that control hunger. So we want to encourage you guys to think of all of these different ways that our dogs and all of our other animals are being impacted from stressors, which increase inflammation. So when you're supporting your dog with proper nutrition that it's not getting in majority of the food or treats that are out there, you're slowly restoring your animal back to the life that it deserves, just like we do. We deserve that. And so do our animals. The whole point is to extend and prolong their quality of living so that both lives, theirs and ours, can be there to support each other for as long as possible.
Yes.
Antioxidants are the way to go, guys.
You know, you're hearing a lot of these compounds revolving around antioxidant, oxidative stress, inflammation, anti-inflammation more in particular, because 90% of all disease is rooted in inflammation, period. Okay. You have to look at the energy expenditure of anything, right? If you think of your dog, the energy expenditure is, you know, in these small periods of time. That's why they sleep so much, is they're building up that energy, right? So when that happens, right, you want their energy to be spent on things that are good for them and not necessarily having to always be fighting something. Right? Because if their energy is always fighting something, they're opening the door for other things to happen. If they're healthy and they have anti-inflammatories going on and they have antioxidants running through their, you know, through their system and everything else, and they can focus on all the other things that are so important, their exercise, being out in the sun. And by the way, just so you guys are all aware, okay, dogs do not synthesize the sun and turn it into vitamin D the way that we do. Okay. It doesn't work like that. They get their vitamin D through foods in different ways. Right. So just understand, you know, that because even though they are a mammal, there are certain components that are a little bit different. And that's why in the nutritional space, it's so important to be understanding that wherever you're buying your products from, that they understand how, okay, the specific animal works. All right. That's why we're not just coming out with a total pet nutrition line. You know, we're coming out with canines first, because canines have specific issues that are a little bit different than felines and cats, which then obviously are a little bit different than our pockadoodle-doos. Okay. Our avians, right. Which then, and then even into the equines, into the horses and whatnot. So, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about another compound. And if you guys, again, have followed our journey here, including Tanisha's and Summer's, you'll know that we love, and everybody really loves, curcumin. Okay. If you don't know about curcumin, okay, you get it from turmeric. Everybody's talking about it. You just type in turmeric, type in curcumin. Everybody's talking about it. Listen, it's nature's best anti-inflammatory, period. So Summer's reading a book and she keeps getting me into it, and I'm getting into it. So I'm kind of waiting for her to finish this book. And it's called The Forever Dog. And within The Forever Dog, he literally says that in regards to two compounds specifically, glutathione, GSH, and curcumin, he could write a whole book just based on those compounds. Because really, curcumin, okay, anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antibacterial, I mean, anti-everything, okay? It is, if you think of, okay, what is the one thing, what's the superhero? What's the Swiss Army knife? Okay, that can pretty much handle anything and everything. It's curcumin. Okay, but again, here we go. Bioavailability. Curcumin is bioavailable of like 5%. It's like nothing. Okay, it's very hard for us to ingest. It's very hard, even harder for our canines, for our animals to ingest, and more importantly, to not just ingest, but to get, okay, the compound value, okay, from the actual ingredient itself, from curcumin. And so you think of anti-everything in curcumin. I want to focus on one specific thing with curcumin, how it ties in synergistically with glutathione in extending the length of your dog's life. Okay, so just like us, okay, our dogs have what's known as telomeres. Okay, these telomeres are DNA sequencing at the end of our chromosomes. Okay, and telomeres have a specific time, a specific length. Okay, they're known as like the hourglass of our lifespan. We have them too. Okay, so it's the hourglass of your dog's lifespan, and it says based on their DNA how long they're going to live. Okay, now what happens is, as your cells start to replicate and duplicate, which is what you want, okay, they're producing new healthy cells and everything else, the telomeres start to dwindle down. That's what they're there for, okay? Because as we start to produce healthy cells, we're producing cells because other cells are bad, we're making room for them, so on and so forth. Curcumin, as well as GSH, okay, work to not only protect your DNA sequencing of the telomeres, but also lengthen them. So imagine that. So now imagine as, okay, these cells are replicating, healthy cells. your cells, then your healthy cells are being protected. Okay. It's all about the longevity of your cells. How long can you keep healthy cells living and thriving will be the determining factor on how long you are living and thriving and how long your pet is living and thriving. And remember, everything is multiplied 7 times. 7 times. Okay. Next time you're angry at your dog and you're ready to yell at them and reprimand them, I want you to think of a megaphone that's right in front of them. And it's amplified 7 times that. And that's how it's affecting them. Okay. So we have to take that, okay, into serious consideration. And I'm telling you that GSH and curcumin are amazing, amazing factors in helping not only with the pain regulation through the anti-inflammatory benefits of curcumin, but also through the longevity of their life, protecting and lengthening those telomere DNA sequencing lines. So curcumin, you guys, it's just by far and away one of the most amazing things. And we have it within ours delivered, okay, in the way that your dogs need them delivered, not taxing the organs, directly into the cells, and then being able to use it immediately. So, Tanisha, you've got one final ingredient, and then I've got one final, and then we'll close you guys out.
Awesome. So Will's little chat on telomeres is related to what I'm about to talk about right now when it comes to life expectancy, the duration that it actually exists in the body, and the severe decline that actually happens, not just in dogs, but in us too, but let's keep it on the dogs right now. This is something that I'm sure you're very familiar with, but maybe you haven't thought about it with your dog per se. So I want to know, are you somebody, and again, put your hand up in the comments, please. Have you ever seen a dog that might look a little frail? Maybe it's experienced a hot spot. Maybe, and if you don't know what a hot spot is, it's like a rash looking area where there's kind of patchy skin and like not really too much hair, hot spot, and they kind of just nip at it all the time. If you've ever seen a dog that is missing a limb, these are common things now, sad to say, and that's why I'm going over these things. Well, guess what? They all have to do with collagen. What is collagen, and what does it have anything to do with your dog? Well, first of all, it's actually really important to understand, and this is an interesting fact for me to learn about. 30% of the total protein of a dog's body is collagen. I didn't know that at all. So I found that to be very interesting because, in all honesty, there's not too much out there that has ever included collagen in a dog formulation, at least in my lifetime of having dogs or seeing different types of dog foods or treats that are out there. I never ever remembered seeing collagen in them. But guess what? It's critically important because as our dogs are aging, they're running, and at the same time, they're more sedentary, especially now because everybody's work schedules are so much longer. Dogs aren't as active. That decline of collagen that supports the hair, the skin, the bone integrity, the nails of your dogs, and what's so important about collagen as well, the gut lining, okay, which also, remember, the gut and the brain are connected, right? So the more that we have collagen as an added supplement in our dogs' foods, the more that we're, again, supporting their framework so that they can not only be supported from the inside, but they can be agile. They can have strength as they move through their day, their week, their month, and their year, and not have to enter a state of fragility so that when they get old, they still have that power and they can be, moving and not have to be in pain. Raise your hand if you've ever in person seen a dog in a wheelchair. That is one of the most horrible things to ever see when it comes to a dog in a wheelchair on the street with its owner. It breaks my heart, but guess what? now that we have this information and we're seeing these health challenges more and more every single day in animals, we can do something about it, and we can make an impact in this space with our animals.
Very true. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tanisha. I appreciate that. You know, you wonder why well, no one really wonders why she's the director of education here. Nobody really wonders why. Okay. Everybody knows specifically, like, exactly what she's just so amazing at. And that's explaining all these details. And you can obviously feel and hear her passion within this. So thank you so much, Tanisha. We appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and log you off here real quick, but I'm going to bring you back on in a minute. So don't go too far. All right, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about the last compound. Okay, so we've talked about GSH. Okay, we've talked about curcumin. Okay, you heard Tanisha talk about EGCG, green tea extract. Okay, she also talked about quercetin. By the way, you know, the amazing antihistamine. So you're talking about the allergens within dogs, the allergies within dogs, and when I skin irritation and all that kind of stuff. And then the collagen. You know, listen, and everyone should understand. Okay, glutamine is not collagen. Okay, glutamine is used to help synthesize collagen. Okay, we have true bovine collagen within our product that all the dogs need, the glue to their body. They need it. Trust me. Like she talked about, right? They're frail. You've seen these dogs, they're frail. Have you ever seen that dog? They're frail and you're like, how old is that dog? Dog doesn't look like it's that old, right? Well, one form of sign of oxidative stress, just so you guys are aware, if you see a dog with a very, very gray muzzle, oxidative stress, fatigue, oxidative stress, okay? It will age them. Oxidative stress will age your dog like nobody's business. Okay. Have you ever seen that dog where they look at him and you're like, oh my gosh, how old's that dog? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, he's 6 and he looks like 13, right? Or looks 10 and he's 4, you know. A lot of people come to Summer and I, and Bay, she just looks like a puppy, right? She still looks like a puppy. She's like 7 years old. It's crazy. She is getting a little gray in her muzzle, just like her dad right here, but you know, it is what it is. So the last ingredient that I'm going to talk to you about is an amazing ingredient that once we started talking with the biochemists about another ingredient that we felt would be great for the pain, we really started diving into it. And agmatine sulfate is an amazing compound that really works on the pain management for our dogs, specifically what's known as SFN, which is small fiber neuropathy. And I want you to think of small fiber neuropathy, okay? These are the fibers that are surfacey, like on our skin. So if you think of yourself, right, think of pain starting in the bottom of your feet and starting to drive up your leg. Okay, exterior on tingling and pins and everything on your skin, surfacey. Okay, that's SFN. Okay, small fiber neuropathy, and dogs get this specifically within their hind legs, and it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue with their mobility. Well, our dog Bay has a luxated patella, and when we took her to the vet, this was maybe 5 years ago, you know, I started talking about options, and, you know, surgery came into play. And, you know, she was really, it was to the point to where we would take her for a walk or a run, and she would have to be laid up for a week or two, like limping around. We'll share some videos of it later and everything else. And it was just sad to see. It's like, wait, my dog needs help, right? And so what this compound does is specifically works to help with the mobility, okay, of the hind legs of your dog, to help them moving and running more efficiently, okay, as well as helping with that pain management to get them moving. Okay, because that's at the end of the day. Look, if they get up and they start feeling pain, they don't want to move. They don't want to do this. So it's really a function of pain management within this product. And so when you combine all of these compounds within here, if you have a dog, okay, that has ailments such as fatigue, okay, lack of energy, right, hind leg issues, you can contribute that to SFN. All right. Is struggling, okay, to just kind of get that gumption, see that light in their eye, right? these could all be signs of oxidative stress. And we all know when our dog's in pain, right? They come up, they nuzzle up against us and let us know, and they kind of look at us in the eye. It's like, okay, yeah, you're in pain. This is an amazing way to not only help with their current state of pain management, but then help with future possible pain management, and help extend those telomeres and help extend the length of their life as well. So in saying all that, you guys, we are launching our first product, and we will be then talking about, I'll let Summer kind of break into this, is what we're going to talk about on our next Pet Wellness Wednesday. And then we'll be getting all these out to the focus group. So I hope you had got great value out of this time and understand what we're trying to deliver here to the dogs on a scientific level. We like to say delivering science through lots of love, to your dogs, trying to extend the life of our amazing other family members, our fur babies. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Summer so she can go ahead and wrap us up.
Thanks, Dad and Tanisha. I love listening to you guys. So much education. Yes, I have been doing a ton myself, and I can't get enough. So I really enjoy sharing it with all of you. We have been sitting here drinking our curcumin, and I wanted to just make a quick point also about the quercetin, just because I have my own personal experience. I used to have 4 allergy medications, and in March of 2020, I started taking a soluble quercetin, and it was really life-changing. That histamine and how it works as an antihistamine is for certain. I mean, I've gone all these years without allergy medicines now. And also whenever, it doesn't mean that something doesn't happen and I don't get a little attack and, I'm not like coughing or something, but I reach right for it and shoot it down my mouth, and instantly it stops and helps me out. So I know that we're going to continue to share those same kind of benefits in the products with our pets too. And so we just been sitting here eating some carrots and bell peppers, waiting for our Barkies to come out of the oven. They're all set and ready to go. What do you think, Bae? You've been waiting all day for Barkies, haven't you? Ready for have one? Yeah, they're so good. Your human will love them. So next week on Wednesday at the same time, we're actually going to talk about our other 2 products that we're going to be launching in the line. So we'll have 3 total products, 2 more to share with you next week, and some more great ideas in the kitchen, and getting ready to launch the focus group. So again, if you are really interested in the focus group, we're going to take some more entries for the next day. You can find that link on www.mypetmatrix.com and under focus group. And we'll catch you next week, right? Say thanks for hanging out with us.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.